We're going to listen to a little bit of the majority report talking about the train derailment that has caused so much heartache for so many. And then I'm going to tell you what you can do about it. And it's going to be talking to formerly Mayor Pete.
Here's a statement by J.D. Vance. This is another example of it. And part of it is because, look, DeWine could have asked the president to declare a state of emergency because that's the only way that FEMA can come in. That's the only way. The president cannot do this unilaterally. They need to respond to a request that comes from the state. Now, ask yourself, why would these politicians be hesitant to call for to declare a state of emergency?
Why indeed?
Because it indicates that there's a problem. And you get more people digging around. That means that there's going to be more payouts. And it means they got to do more work. And they're basically, you got these freight train going through their states. You know how much money the lobbyists are paying them. Here's Jay.
And it means there's going to be more regulation. Ultimately, the GOP, Republicans, conservatives, whatever labels they're wearing, conservatives don't want regulation because regulation means that rich people make less money. There it is at the end of the day. That's what it always comes down to. Neoliberalism is the bane of the United States, and it's the philosophy that you decide right and wrong by wealth. That's what it comes down to. It puts wealth and property ownership above all else. The bane of the United States. Let's listen to what J.D. Vance had to say.
J.D. Vance putting out a statement, and this is sort of like shocking to me, just even as like a political question. On February 13th, the derailment happened 10 days ago. No, yeah, well, 11 days ago
New
now.
senator from the state.
Like every Ohioan, I'm horrified by the train crash, et cetera, et cetera. 1 week ago, local and state officials determined that to avoid catastrophic explosion, a controlled release of vinyl chloride would take place.
Good Lord.
It is unclear to me what the circumstances are of and by controlled release, he's talking about this controlled burning. And it is unclear to me as to like how much of this was they had to burn some off to avoid an explosion, or they could have transferred it to other tanks and gotten rid of this stuff in a more controlled fashion, but that would have slowed things down dramatically. We still...
Okay, look. I am not an expert on dealing with chemical spill cleanups or chemical fire, whatever, cleanups. To me, it's irrelevant whether it would have been a better idea to transfer it to a different tank or burn the thing off. Going back, why in the first place did we have this crash? They were understaffed, is the answer. They were understaffed, and the braking system was insufficient. Those were the problems. We also had a strike dealing with, I believe, this company. What was it, 3 weeks ago? Not long ago. Joe Biden came down on the side of the company. What were the workers striking about? They said they were understaffed. The only reason the train companies do not want their employees taking sick days, they don't want to hire more people, is because it's expensive for them minorly. They don't want anything except a skeleton staff, because that means each time they put a train down the tracks, it costs them double the employee wages that they were paying. Do you think these employees are millionaires? What kind of wages are we talking about? The company, this specific company, I believe made over $4 billion last year. The idea that they need more money, that they are hurting in any way for more money is ridiculous. Plain and simple, we need much stronger regulations on these companies. The whole point of America is we are not supposed to have a ruling class of royals. It's not supposed to be simply that our royalty is decided by whose grandparents did better at capitalism, and therefore their grandchildren went to great colleges, and their company was passed down, and yada, yada, yada. It's not just a different way of deciding what our royals will be. It's that we don't have them. The common man is supposed to be in charge in the USA. We are not. A great way to start correcting this is to go to our transportation secretary, who is, theoretically, a left-winger. Go to our transportation secretary and demand there be stronger regulations. There's any number of regulations that could be put in place. A minimum number of people that must be operating on a train when they are dealing with dangerous chemicals. That's a great start. Who do we say? Who do we go to about this? We go to our transportation secretary, Pete Buttigieg. Contact link is in the description. Use it. Tell him, look, we just had a major chemical fire because of a train derailment. Clearly, changes need to be made. I want to hear you announcing new regulations for these companies pronto. Use the link in the description. Contact Pete Buttigieg. Let him know you are sick of this.